just seems like the educational system here in Mexico is in its infancy. And it's learning how to do things. So basically, they started implementing, you know, bring in outsiders and all this stuff, and then their universities are getting slightly better. So it's like, okay, now we're getting people out of university that should know some things, so then we're going to stick them in. But then they found out, oh, we stuck them in, but they still don't know anything about education because we didn't have education.
Yep.
So now they're getting people in that have gone through education courses, but the problem is they had failing education courses at the university level. So now they're having to retrain all of these teachers in their schools, but they're training them based on educational norms of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s.
Yep.
That's what they're trying to base everything on, and they're looking back to people that are from the 40s and the 30s.
Yep.
And it's like, guys, we should have moved on from this by now, but you never got there. So now you're talking about doing things in your schools that you're starting behind the times.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they are realizing that, because they don't have anybody to say it. And whenever anybody comes in from the outside and says, "Wait a minute, you guys are just now getting
You're
this?
just now
You're
learning
just
about
now
Maslow's hierarchy."
It's like, really? This is like stuff that we said was, yes, okay, this is what you get in the introductory class to the subject matter, and then we should have moved way more forward. We should be far more progressively. That should be like some basis for just starting,
right?
Not where we end up.
Yep.
You know, and that's where they've ended up, and it's like, unfortunately, I think probably because they have, you know, like every country, they now have a glut of people coming out of universities. They can't get jobs. They have people that have, even if they've gone to school for education, they can't get jobs.
Yeah.
And they've got old people that are in all of the schools that they can't get out. So they're going the retraining route, but not realizing that there's all these people like us that could come in, and we could be not necessarily teachers, but we could be the consultants, in-house consultants, making them understand like how to do this that makes more sense for them, and they're not taking advantage of that. So it's like, if I was doing a school here, I would say, okay, we need to get people in here that understand this like right off the bat, totally know what to do. But we need to train the other people. So I'm gonna bring in, say, 2 or 3 teachers in every grade level or whatever that are foreigners, native English speakers. They've been taught how to do all of these things, and I'm going to give them half the class load of everybody else, and then the other part of their class load is trainings and talking about and making people understand like how to do, because basically when you sit in a meeting, you hear people complaining about what they can't do or how they don't understand how to do, but then they don't ever want to ask the foreigners and get their take on how, and they just basically need to be trained, because those questions have already been answered.
Right.
Especially if it's crap from the 90s.
Well, we had this thing this week where 2 of the teachers are like, you have to start doing these restorative circles. And I'm like, okay, but these things are supposed to be done in Spanish. And we aren't allowed to speak Spanish in the classroom, so they've given us this little fabric cape that we wear, and when we put it on, then we can speak Spanish. And I said, listen, my cape is broken because I put it on, I still can't speak Spanish. That's what they're telling the kids, it's magic, right?
Magic cape that allows Spanish to
The problem is they've never explained how this circle thing is supposed to work. Just do these circles because it's something that they all know from set, right? But you haven't explained to the foreign teachers who don't do this stuff what's expected, what the procedures, what the process. I know that every kid is supposed to be able to talk and blah, blah, blah. That's nice. What are we talking about? Right. So, it's just whatever.
So, back to your original question, where do we go?
Yeah, where do you want to go?
That's my problem is I really don't know, because basically it feels like we are on a search for that place.
Yeah.
Not that we could just pick that place and go there.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I'm worried, especially after Mexico, because Mexico seems to think it's a Western country. It's absolutely not.
No, not
And
in any stretch of the imagination.
It's a Christian country, but it's not a Western country.
Right.
And I think that's where the problem comes in, because people tend to think it's because it's Christian, it's Western, and no, it's not.
It's not the same, folks.
But even in how to do business, like basic business things, even those things, like having a fax machine, or like having a fax machine that's used for your business, or that VCR, or or the typewriter. I mean, these are the things that while alongside having computers. You know what I mean? And this is where the disconnect comes in. They're just not there yet. And I don't know if they'll ever be there, wherever there is, but they're not looking at pushing the envelope for how to educate, how to be better at business, they're not looking at anything like, how do we improve? They're always looking at, how do we keep it the same?
Yeah.
And I think that's the downfall of places like this, is they don't have, it's like the thing you were telling us about the getting a new car thing. It's like you have people doing all of this walking around thing to do something that takes about 10 seconds on a cell phone now.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, that kind of thinking is where the problem comes in. It's like you have tools. It's like, it would be like somebody saying, oh, this nail is sticking out. How do we get this nail? How do we do this? And there's a hammer on the table, and they pick up their phone and do it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm doing this on purpose because it's got the
Hufflepuff.
So, I mean, that kind of it's probably one of the more frustrating things just about being here is these ideas of, as the outsider, you're made to feel like you're wrong all the time when you know that there are probably 5 to 10 other ways that they could be doing whatever they're doing better.
Right.
More effectively, less time consuming, and better for the workers, better for the students, better for the teachers. But you just get shunned at every turn,
Right.
And then they tell you that, oh, you don't understand, like in China, or you're too aggressive, or all the other negative things that they can say, and then try to use those things for a reason for you not to be there.
Right.
It's like, it makes you not want to be in these spaces. 100%. It just makes you not want to be around them, because it's like, it's never, it's like I used to say, it's like watching the Uber driver drive.
Oh my God.
Just watching them make the decisions that they make, and you're looking at it going, you got to make a right turn, but you're in the far left lane. It's
yep.
like, why?
6 lanes of traffic,
why?
and he's got to...
And you know where you need to go. It's not that you don't have the information.
Right, it's telling you right in front of your face,
right.
And it says, in so many meters, please turn right.
You've got the good information, but you're still making a choice that makes absolutely no sense. And that I don't understand. I don't understand why anybody does that. But apparently here, that's more normal than making the decision that makes sense based on the information you have in front of you.
Right.
And this is why we're in this housing conundrum.
Yeah.
For that very reason.
Yep.
So, where are we going? I don't know if I can be trusted to make that decision because I have made so many bad ones over the last, 5 years? 5 years?
I don't think you've made
5
bad
years.
decisions.
Wuhan?
That wasn't your decision.
Bad decision.
That wasn't your decision. They didn't even get
Feng
to
Shui?
Alright, well that was all.
100%
That was all your decision.
bad decision.
I was just along for the ride.
Because...
But they sold you a bill of goods that wasn't true.
yeah, absolutely. I didn't have good information either, but...
It was all lies.
Bad decision. The decision to come to Mexico. Bad decision.
But you can't own that. That was a family decision.
I think that was a bad decision based on food. See?
But that wasn't your fault.
The quietude.
Guess what we're having for lunch?
I think honestly, I think that's what it was. It was I want to be able to go and eat. How often do you go and eat out?
Never. I've never gone. I don't know. I've never been out in Puebla.
Well, you did. You got a Cemitas.
Okay, that was before we moved here.
You got a Cemitas. You haven't gotten a Cemitas since.
I haven't gotten a Cemitas since, and
Yeah, you can get them right over there.
Man. When I think of Mexican food, a sandwich, isn't it?
What is a Cemitas?
I don't care. There's so much bread and so much stuff.
It's a Cemitas.
You can't even eat the whole thing.
Look, man, you're complaining about the size of the Cemitas.
And like I had the teachers ordered tacos one Friday, and
Tacos.
in this part of Mexico, they put plain mashed potatoes in your tacos. All of them tacos have mashed potatoes.
What?
That's enough to make somebody
Watch
mad.
the Taco Chronicles, folks, on Netflix. It's all in Spanish, but there's subtitles.
Wait. What does the Taco Chronicles have to do with
tells you
here?
about the
I've
different-
never heard of this.
It tells you about the different tacos in the different parts of the country.
But that's irrelevant.
Here
you
they
have,
put
here. You've seen it.
I've had one and it was gross.
With smashed potatoes.
It not just a little bit, but like an entire big fat potato smashed into the tortilla. The corn tortilla.
You know what?
It tears and
I need you to do me an animation.
I can't animate. I don't.
you can animate. You've got programs.
No. We need you to do an animation of the exploding head. An animation that we can put on top of our heads. That's with the sound effect and everything. Okay? Okay? You can do it.
Yeah.
Because
Barely draw fire.
smashed potatoes on a damn taco? No.
And there's like very little else.
There's just smashed potatoes?
Mine was. I said, I think I got the wrong one because I ordered a chicken taco with cheese. And I said, yeah, that's it. And I was like, no, where's the chicken? It's all potato. Where's the cheese? No, there was nothing. It was just mostly mashed potato. There wasn't even bean inside.
Oh, God.
What the hell?
Oh.
A girl needs her beans.
Mexico is a huge letdown. That's all I can really say.
You know, Mexico was a huge letdown as soon as we landed in Tijuana. Like, our problems literally started in Mexico
when we
landed. Not even a joke, not even, like, I'm not being hyperbolic at all. because we had visas, Aaron and I, and instead of the customs agent looking at the visas where we had our arrival cards stuck, he just marked us all as tourists and sent us on our way. So literally from the moment we landed until 18 months later, it's been a hot damn mess.
And it wasn't supposed to be, because it was supposed to be, you know, better than being in China. All right. If you want to follow the Traveling Farrs, you can follow us on the YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, iTunes, Spotify, or the Google Podcast at The Traveling Farrs. If you like the Instagram and the Twitters, Traveling Farrs. And the email is travelingfars@gmail.com. And the blog space, thetravelingfars.blueberry.net. No E's in the blueberry. Say goodbye to the people.
Bye, people. You see words on the page, man.
Yeah, but it's easier to see the world for a camera.
Oy, life isn't always about making
This sounds like an argument, vlog versus blog, but that's a whole nother thing. Say goodbye to the people, man.
Next week's lesson.
Say goodbye to people.